Hi, welcome back. I'm Richard's Painter. Turn that off because I get copyrighted right now, unfortunately. I do like a banging tunes. So this one's a bit different. I thought I'd show it mainly to keep the videos consistent, stuff like that. This is like an everyday job that we do. You'll tell by the title. VW Polo. We've ended up with a rotten wing. I can show you that actually. Naturally, I'm super organised with this thing. So basically, it came in for a bit of a rust repair, as you can see. It's missing the bottom inch. So once we'd actually got it off, it's missing the bottom inch. Now it can be repaired. You could weld a piece on the bottom of that, no problem. But generally, once they've started to go, they start to go around a bit further. And this particular Polo, the wings are £53. So when you look at the labour involved in fixing that and what that would cost, it's very similar to, you may as well have a brand new wing. We're going to be blending the door anyway, as you can see. So the door's prepped up, the old wing's off. I've just shown you that. This is the new wing. So this is how this one's turned up. It's got a special coating on it, and you can tell at the bottom there what's missing off the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to get some heat on, get the panels up to temperature. We're going to wet this panel for the Americans out there, that sealer. So we're going to seal it up in a black sealer. We need to let that flash off for about 15-20 minutes ish. I wasn't going to film this, so I've already mixed the paint, but we'll skip that stage. Ordinarily then I'd mix the paint, but I was waiting for the booth, so we've had to wait. So yeah, we'll get this done and then we'll get that on and I'll show you the process from there. Right, let's go and get some wet and wet. I have to go the long way around because there's a Mini right in the way. Right, so basically I have explained this before in previous videos, but I'll just explain it again in case you're new, because we've had a lot of new people. So thank you very much for that. Basically I use, just to keep it easy, so we've got a high build version which will give you however much I need. It'll give me my primer, my hardener, my thinner. This is done by weight. We have a set of scales. Do have covers on to keep them clean. So we can do everything by volume. A wet and wet is basically, it's the same primer, but we use a more hardener and more thinner. And it's, instead of being a 4-to-1, it's a 3-to-1. And the hardener is different, sorry. Nearly forgot that. Now every manufacturer, I use MIPA pretty much everything because I like it. Trying to think. There's a handful of stuff that might not be MIPA, but that's because MIPA don't do it, as far as I'm aware anyway. Yeah, so basically we're going to mix that as per a data sheet. Whatever you're mixing, whoever you're mixing it with, wherever you're buying it from, if you're not sure, ask them for a data sheet. They'll print them off for you or email you, and they'll tell you everything you need to know. It is important to use, it is important to use the correct stuff with the correct stuff, because that's how it's designed. So if you use a different product hardener, it might work, might be the same stuff in a different tin. But if you can't prove that you've used them the same and you have a problem down the road, you don't have a leg to stand on. So, which is why it's nice to use a full range of everything from one brand. So my MIPA primer is at the bottom, my MIPA paint will go on top of that, my MIPA clear coat will go on top of that. So that's why we do it. Once you've got a system in place, keeps everything better, if that's even a word. Hopefully you know what I mean. Right, so I'll not bore you to death with the mixing. I'll get that done now, and then we'll come back in there and I'll show you what we're doing. Right, back again, both on, as you can hear. So we're getting the panels up to temperature now. We've explained that in the past. So basically I'm going to clean everything and then we'll put a coat of wet on. I will try and angle this somewhere so you can see what I'm doing. I'll explain why we're doing that in a minute when we get out and you can hear me better. All over the place now. Got panel wipes to get done clean. Same again, just turn that the other way around now. Generally on smaller bits like this, some people use two cloths, smaller pieces like that. I'll use one side and then fold it over to the other side. When you're paying for them, you generally use them a little bit more frugally. Works just as fine, so there's no problems. Keeps everything just as clean. Here's some wipe. Beautiful. These are important to clean correctly. I don't know, I should have put the tripod on really, but I'm trying to hold it at the same time. So these are important to clean because you don't know who's touched them, where they've been, if they've got any release chemical on them from when they've been stamped. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm seeing somebody over there. Yeah, so it's good to make sure they're scrubbed anyway. So everything's scrubbed before it comes in here. That's just a matter of housekeeping, if you like. And then before we paint, we always sort that out as well. Do it again, if you like. Right, I'm going to try and put you on the car. So basically, for those of you that do ask and are interested, using the Nebula, so that's the DeVille GTI, fantastic gun. Everybody should have at least one of them. Very, very good all-rounder, use them for everything. I generally use that now, mainly for wet and wet now. Just works, just really good. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this or not, but I'm going to put it on there. try and block some of that out. So if you do see that, I apologise. Naturally, super organised with that. Still learning the camera thing very much so trying to have it where you need it and not where you don't need it type of thing. Right, so basically the wet on wet is like a sailor, if you're in America, primer. So we're going to put one wet fluid coat on. We're going to let that flash off. Now if we need to denib that or anything like that, we can do that once it's dry enough for our base coat. Again, we'll tackle off that again, we'll start putting the base coat on. So what we're going to do is we're only blending that door, so we're going to build up our paint on the wing so it's the right colour, if you like, and then on the last coat and a half, if you like, we'll blend into the door. It's quite a good blue. We've already done the sill already, because where it was rotting on the bottom of the wing, it knackered the sill, so we've already done that. And like I said, I wasn't planning on filming this anyway, so it's otherwise you'd have seen that already, so you'd have to take my word for that. So right, so we'll wash this gun out, I'll stop waffling, and you'll join me back when we paint. Back soon. Right, so wet and wet's on, it's dry, it's very very warm in here. I'll show you now. The reason I've used black, for anybody that's interested, is this blue colour's better. If I went over white, I might have to use an extra layer, if you like, but this blue covers quite well. But on the computer it said to use a darker colour. So I just use black. We use blacks on the sill, it's perfectly fine. So some people might want to use grey, or even a dark grey. With this particular colour, it just works fine. So right, so I ain't got a tripod with me, so I'm going to try and put my mask on, and then we'll show you putting the first layer on, see what we can do with that. Flash off. It's water based, so we can dry it faster by putting air over it with some blowers. I've got the booth turned right up, I don't know if you can tell, so it should evaporate quite quickly. So basically I'll build that up now. It'll be 2.5, 3 coats ish. Last coat will be a drop coat, that will also go into the door as well to allow the colour to lay out. It should lay, if that makes sense. I forget the term. But yeah, we'll come back when all the blue's on so you can see everything, and then we'll look at clear coating them. Back in a moment. Alright, back again. Video would have carried on anyway, but so basically the base coat's on now, it's all dry. I've gone round tack off it. I've mixed my clear coat, so we'll just we'll try and do a POV of that, see how that turns out, and then we'll have a walk around at the end like we normally do anyway. But yeah, we'll try and put the first layer on now, so we'll get that organised. so you can hear me a bit better out here. So basically that's the first layer of clear coat on. We're going to give that about 10 minutes. Shouldn't need any longer, it's very warm in there, panel temperature's nice and warm. I don't know if you saw on the camera or not, but we applied, well I applied the clear a little bit less towards the end on the first coat. Not quite a closed wet coat, if that makes any sense at all. Basically, if you think of it as a roll of sellotape, if you roll a piece of sellotape out, it's clear. But when you look at loads of layers of it, it looks more yellowy, orangey. And the same thing can happen with clear coat on the side of a vehicle. So more so on whites and silvers, you'll see them, you'll end up with like a darker panel or a lighter panel, or one panel that's a bit more yellower, mainly on the white ones. And there's basically lots of build up of clear coat on the edges, as opposed to the panel next door to it, so which is why we always hold off a bit on the first layer. Hopefully that makes sense. I know what I mean in my head, so yeah, we'll have a look in a minute. So the second layer will be a full wet coat straight the way across, left to right or right to left, whichever way you paint. Yeah, and we'll have a look when we're finished back again. Right, back. We put the second layer on. Let that flow out for a few minutes while we're washing the gun. I'm not going to bake it because it's being left overnight. It's plenty warm enough, so there's no need. We're not in a rush, so it'll be perfectly dry for the morning. So you can see when we're blending it in, you can see there's colour this end. I don't know if you can see that. Nothing this end, the tape's clean. Just has clear coat on it. Basically what we're doing is, because we got, if people aren't familiar with the term blending, it's, so if I fitted a new door and just painted the door, you've got fresh paint. Even if you try and get it as close as you can, you'll always tell a little bit that it's not right. So normally we would, if I was fitting a door, for instance, I'd paint the inside of the door potentially, and then paint the outside of the door and blend it all, depending on which way around I was doing it, depending on how much room we've got and what the weather's like. If you've got a great big workshop and stuff like that, you could probably strip it all down and paint it that way, and then it's basically a door swap then, effectively. But you'd still blend the colour out into the back door or into the quarter and then into the front door. It's purely to get a better job. It's the only way to do it properly if you want it to last and look the part. Right, so that's the door, and then the wing, you can see, is all painted. Looking nice. Very clean as well, which is what we want, which is what we try and get. Nobody likes flattening and polishing, it's very boring, so we try and make sure it's as clean as possible in here. Make sure you tack off between coats and keep it as clean as you possibly can. And then hopefully you don't fill your paint. Wet paint's like a magnet for dust particles or any dirt nibs or anything like that, so we'll try and make it as clean as we can. Now, not a lot of people do. I don't know if I've explained it earlier in the video. If I have, ignore me. But I just paint a little bit around this arch and along the front here. Now, a lot of people don't do that. I always find these are quite susceptible to the arches rotting and stuff like that anyway. So, although this wing was coated, you'd have seen that at the start of the video, it won't hurt having an extra coating on there. We always wax oil them as well once they've been put back on, assuming we've got room. If not, then we'll do it beforehand. But once they're painted, it'll have a coat of clear wax oil on there. Customers don't ask to do that. They don't ask me to paint inside the wing either, but it's just something we do. I feel it's a better job all round, and longevity wise, hopefully I'm not boring you, but longevity wise it should last a hell of a lot longer. It should outlast the car in theory. So, but yeah, just a quick look. If you like these, there we go. If you like these sort of little videos, just let me know, and we'll do a few more of them. If you want to know anything, or if I've confused anybody and you need me to rectify whatever, explain whatever I've gone on about, I've tried to explain. But yeah, turn the lights off now. If you don't mind giving us a thumbs up, a like, a share, or something like that, whatever it is you're into, like and subscribe or whatever it is, be appreciated. I don't know what the next video is, but I might do another one of these smaller jobs again, just to try and keep them, and then the bigger stuff that you have been watching, we'll feed them in as well. Maybe try and save them for the end of the week or something. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.